So, dude, on my way to work this morning, I passed by the Ripley Aquarium, right? And so they have a
Wow.
bunch of like shrubbery and like
Yeah,
decorations
yeah,
for
and you
fish.
saw a cool
And
one.
there's this one bush that's shaped like a shark. And then as I was walking to work, I saw a squirrel just sitting in the mouth of the shark, and I'm like, that looks so cool. I'm gonna take a picture of it, and I
Good
did.
for
Here
you.
it is. I want to share this joyous moment with everyone. It's so cool.
Hmm.
So anyway, it feels weird to start off with this because it's like stuff we got wrong, but for Superman opinions, I guess that'll be at the
Oh,
front
okay.
here. Uh, the reason why that General Zod was in the opening of the first Superman movie was apparently because they were filming both movies at the same time. So it is kind of like they were confident they were going to get a sequel, but also they were
Yeah,
like
they
literally
were as
making the sequel.
confident as possible.
Yeah, as confident as you could possibly be. That's pretty cool. I said a person's name wrong. Uh, I kept saying Heath Fledger, but his name is Flesher. So I'm
Did
very
I
sorry
even
about
say
that.
his name?
You
Because
never
someone
said
said
his
I
name.
said his name wrong.
You
Okay.
never. I don't
Someone said
remember
I
said.
said a guy's name wrong, and I was like, I don't remember talking about
Yeah,
that
no, like
guy.
I said. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I got a name wrong. Anyway, oopsie, sorry about that. So, dude, One Piece is a fun manga, right?
It is.
I can't believe Roger's a bum and he lost to a mid tier like Shaki. What happened? What was
Puff,
Oda
you
thinking?
better put a fucking spoiler warning on this if you drop it before Sunday.
Oh, fine, I
um,
will.
I would say that no, I think it's funny. You know, it's cool because it kind of shows that like Rocks is gonna be really funny. Kinda isn't a pirate. Like he functioned without a flag for a while. He had a gang, not a crew. He doesn't seem to give a shit about pirate things. He's just always working towards taking over the world. He, in a sense, isn't really a pirate.
No, he doesn't want to go on fun adventures. He just wants the big grab. He wants the big treasure. He wants the status,
Not
the
even
power.
treasure. No, not even treasure. Treasure would be pirate coded. He just wants to take over the world.
I,
If he
I
wanted big treasure, he'd be very piratey because he'd be adventuring for
and
treasure.
I just imagine like like oh by big treasure I mean like he probably wants like the One Piece if he finds out what that is or if it exists or whatever.
Oh yeah, we don't even know if he knows what that is.
Yeah.
Um, I I think it's funny.
Now speaking of rocks, there's one very important thing we need to discuss. Did Rocksteady Zebek use peanut tactics to win his Davy back fights?
No, because it said it's never been done before.
Yes, and for those of you unaware, the peanut tactic is when you take a captive from a crew before the Davy back fight ends. So like I guess like there's some theories like maybe like oh maybe Rocks like just took let's say Whitebeard was the captain of his own crew or Shiki was he would just take Shiki after the first round and that'd be the end of it. But no, it is stated by the Foxy Pirates who are the foremost experts of Davy back fights that the peanut tactic has never been used before. Meaning,
And
Rocks did this
obviously
fair and
the
square. He has a sense of honor when it comes to the Davy back fight.
yeah, which is to say he waited until the third round.
Yeah, or fifth, however many they agreed upon.
You know, yeah, you're right. There's like 100 versions. I bet there's one where you can win in the first round. Um, and then of course the other really important thing is that okay, well you know what would be a cool payoff? Blackbeard doing peanuts.
Yeah, man, we need to see the. I want to see the peanut strategy try and be used by someone because it'd be so funny. Like,
And everyone's like, "You're a real piece of shit," you know that?
What happens if Blackbeard like Davy back fights like Luffy or Shanks and just like I want Shanks on my crew, and then Shanks just go along with it? We'd be like, damn it, my pirate code of honor.
No, because obviously that ties into the next best theory, which is the whole like the legendary pirate promise is real, and if you break it, you get like the sentient sea from Moana, and it fucking jumps you.
Just imagine Shanks being like, no, I'm not gonna do this. Then suddenly a tidal wave just comes in, and he's like, oh fuck, no, it was
The
real.
sea doesn't like when you don't listen.
So that's funny. Next, this is like something that some people want, but they're probably never gonna get is like movies not about Luffy or not centered around the Straw Hat Pirates.
Hmm.
Just not
I'm
happening,
sorry, you cut
guys.
out for a second. What without the? Oh, like a movie or a short?
Yeah, like a movie or a short not revolving around the
Okay,
straw hats. And it's like, guys, it's not
okay. So
happening.
we might get like an OVA because we got like an OVA about Sabo.
Yeah, that's the
Like
closest we'll
Luffy
get
was
is
in
like
it
an
for a
OVA.
little bit, but it was mostly about Sabo. So theoretically, an OVA, sure. But a movie, because people were always like, oh, what if we get a movie of Rocks doing something? What if we get a movie of, fuck, I don't know, insert off screen thing here? You're all stupid. Why? Because movies are about making money, and Luffy is Pikachu.
Yeah.
And you need Pikachu if you want money. Especially now that recently with Film Red, One Piece movies are able to make money internationally, meaning they're making a lot more money,
I
and
mean,
they want the money.
some people might make the case like, oh, but One Piece is such a joke, and they can make a movie about anything and it'll like sell well. And it's like, yeah, it might be true, but also like it's safer to side on the let's make it about Luffy. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Like
and
one of
also
the only
like this
series
is
like even like Dragon Ball. The latest Dragon Ball movie is about Gohan, but also one subplot is just Goku and Vegeta beating the shit out of each other.
yeah, and Gohan is still one of the main characters. Like, I don't think we're gonna
Yeah, yeah, it's
like
not like it's
abandon the
about
Straw Hats.
fucking it's not like it's about like the
Beerus's big
creation of the
adventure.
androids.
No, it's not about like Beerus's big adventure where he became the god of
It's about
destruction and he
Champa's
went
big
beast.
adventure.
And it's also like this is another thing that like that makes this obviously bad is that like, do you want this not in the manga? Do you want it in an OVA first or a movie before it's in the manga? Like what?
Like I only want that if it literally doesn't matter. Like the thing with like Kuzan versus Sakazuki is like admittedly while the fighting would be awesome, it doesn't matter, but we need to see is the very end. We need to see Sakazuki sparing Kuzan. That's the important says something about the characters thing. The
Yeah.
fight would be rad, but also I assume it's just them chucking elemental
Also,
attacks at each other.
I want to see it when it becomes relevant to the story and the characters. Like when we see how Kiji or Kai are gonna maybe they meet up again, then we flash back to it. Like I want it when it's relevant, not now just for the sake of having it and just seeing
Hmm.
Sakazuki throw a punch at Aokiji and it being cool or whatever.
Yeah.
This reminds me a lot of of the build up to One Piece Film Red because I had a friend who was really, really excited and hyped for the movie because he wanted Shanks lore. He wanted like a Shanks backstory. He wanted to be like all about Shanks. I was like, dude, you're not gonna get it. It's not coming. The movies are bad most of the time. Don't be excited. You're not gonna get what you want. And then like he watched like a pirated version, like someone taking like their phone out in the theater, like one of those rips and then like
Hmm.
hated it and like of course you're gonna hate it. It's a musical like and you didn't get the shank so that you obviously weren't gonna get and then I went to it with my brother and I'm thinking damn that was the best One Piece movie ever. Film Red's awesome. It's so good. All right, but
um Yeah, I
yeah.
because I do think it's just it kind of derives from the One Piece belief that if something cool happens in the anime, it's canon because you said so. Oda definitely totally told them to do that part.
Listen, if it's canon to your heart, go right ahead. Or if you just
Yeah,
want to say
canon.
it's or like just say you want to go by the anime's canon because the you just say go by the anime's canon because
Yeah,
the
no,
anime
quite
has no
literally.
canon.
Like, I guess it's something we should specify whenever we yell about canon. Canon is only really important in the sense of theories that have repercussions on the story, i.e., if you're trying to prove who the man marked by flames is, and you bring up One Piece movie 6, you're being stupid. Um,
Yeah, or
and then and
like
then
maybe
very
like
critical analysis, where it's like, why did Oda do? And then you say a fucking filler thing. It's like that's a stupid question.
yeah, or the anime like had Sanji like fight the Okama, but that never happens in the manga. So it's like okay, I'm just gonna like separate this because obviously this wasn't the same like writer behind, or like if it was,
it
then like he
it weakens the themes if you
yeah
go off of what the but when it comes to just what is true to the characters in your soul, obviously whatever the fuck you want.
yeah I know
Every
Robin
Foxy
acting in
filler is
that one.
canon because I said so.
Yes, Robin acting in that one TV special where she's like this overdramatic overacting buffoon is canon to my
Yes.
heart.
Yeah, like it's just like that.
Yeah. But dude, this is super important. Did you know that One Piece is accidentally woke, and that's a bad thing? This is terrible.
Who said it was on accident? Who was that again?
It was some Twitter guy, and it blew up, and it was just like, dude, I can't. One Piece is accidentally woke. It's the craziest thing, and of course, everyone just replied, "But dude, how do you make Fishman Island by accident?"
So, I think their point was like Fishman Island is bad because it's like, oh, what if MLK was stupid? But it's like, I don't think Otohime is supposed to be a MLK 1-to-1. I think that's our hyper Western interpretation of the arc. Because I think the problem is like as like English speaking Westerners, especially if you're American or I guess maybe Canadian, I don't know. You're taught of like the representation of non-violent uh support for minorities is MLK, and the representation of violent support for minorities is Malcolm X. The problem with that is I don't think that's what Oda was doing in the sense of I don't think those were the parallels he was trying to draw. Very simple reason I might think that. Otohime's the ruler.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that alone
Martin
is
Luther King
crazy.
didn't
Like
have his
she's the
own
ruler of a
nation.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Martin Luther King was not the king of like a South African nation under apartheid or something.
It's a fair comparison if you want to like quickly explain like the characters in like 10 seconds to your friend who's
No,
never
or
seen
like
One
if
Piece
you make
before.
like an emotional connection to it, that's fine. But I don't think that was an intentional parallel Oda was making.
Yeah, but obviously One Piece is woke on purpose because I just find to imagine like Oda back in like the 90s like, oh no, I accidentally made a queer character in Rurouni Kenshin. Sorry about that,
Oh
boss.
man.
I'll erase it real quick.
And then make 80 more in my series. That get less and less
Oh no,
caricature
I
and
did it!
more
I
and
did it again. My hand just slipped and I made Bon Clay. God damn it!
for some reason every time I accidentally make a queer character, they become less of a stereotype. How is this happening? Oh, that's so straight. Oh, crap, I based one on my drag queen friend. Shit.
Oh no, I made the evil, corrupt government the villains again. Jaw, gee
Oh god.
whiz.
I keep saying that racism and slavery is bad. Oh fuck. I made the arc about the reindeer have a subtext about how medicine should be freely accessed by the public. God damn
On,
it! How do I keep doing this?
I just realized I made Wano about like they want to open the borders. Like what was I thinking about that
Oh wait,
one?
I made Wano
Why do I
about
want?
open borders and
Why did
food
I make
scarcity.
that?
What am I
Oh,
doing?
god damn.
What? All of my characters are pro-adoption? Oh, I'm so stupid.
Immigration good since when? What am I
Oh,
doing?
god
No.
damn it. What? The justice
Healthcare?
system is
Free
heavily
healthcare?
flawed?
Chopper, shut up! No one should have free
Anyway,
healthcare, Chopper!
point
Get
is,
out of here!
it can't be accidental that many times. That's too many times.
It's blue pilled as hell, and if you think
Yes.
it's just something you have to accept, even if you like this,
Yeah.
even if you don't like that about the story, but you still love One Piece. I think you can just accept
I
it. Like,
love the idea of reading One Piece and seething at all the politics. Like that sounds like a hilarious reading experience. Ah.
those damn commies in the Revolutionary Army. I hate Sabo.
I remember one of our friends tweeted like, I think Oda is missing out on making the story really interesting by not adding evil revolutionaries. And I replied, I do not want that.
I would like to have
It,
one who's just like kind of fucked up and wants to like kill some
oh
Marines
no,
for
I'm sure there's plenty of like fucked up revenge hungry ones.
yeah.
But I guess what I thought of is I don't want another
You're
what's
rebelling in the
the
wrong way.
what's the cool what's the funny one?
Uh,
The one where
uh,
Mark Hamill is the villain.
uh,
Something City race car show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You watched it with me. The one where they're cool rebels and it's real.
Motor City.
Yeah, Motor City. I
Yes.
don't want the plant terrorists from Motor City again.
You see,
I hate
Batman.
that.
I want free healthcare, but in order to do that, I must blow up the city to send a message. You don't
I don't
understand,
want the
Batman.
yeah no
If
or
I
just
want
like
free healthcare, I must punch 86 grandmas in the face before Tuesday.
the best example is was it God's Not Dead 4 or 5 where the villain is like you would deny people healthcare for the cost and then the hero is like I'm just really worried about the debt. It's like this is hilarious.
It's
This is
really
amazing.
funny to compare that guy to Bane. That's not a real comparison. Get out of
It's a
here.
funny comparison. Point being, like obviously, like you can do it in interesting ways. I think it's just so common and so like generic and boring that I have no
Overdone.
interest in seeing it again. Yeah. Anyway, you should watch Motor City. We've said this before,
Motor
but
City is really, really good.
it's really well animated.
It's weirdly great for like a one season cartoon that never got continued.
Mark Hamill voices the main villain. I
Oh,
remember that blew our mind puff. We're like, wait a minute.
I know. Wow. Wow.
Anyway,
Uh, so uh
but-
so dude, let's talk about like things that are a lot less subtle than Bane, like
mhm.
Luffy. Luffy's the most
Okay,
subtle
so we
character in One Piece,
so
right?
we've talked about this man many times. We watched what's fucking Kumo Bear or some shit. We
Kumo
watched
Bear, I
his
think.
Wano bad video, and like Kumo Bear is interesting in the sense of he makes analysis videos while clearly not engaging with the series he consumes. Uh, which is to say he doesn't say anything. Like he said that Kaido is good subtle and Luffy is bad subtle,
No,
but
no,
his
he said
proof
the
of that
opposite.
was
He said the opposite. He said Kaido
oh
was
yeah,
a
no
bad
no
subtle and Luffy was a
yeah,
good
I,
subtle.
yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. And then his examples of that was like what was it? It was like oh yeah, one example of Luffy's subtlety is emotional intelligence. If you remove that, then he's bad. It's like okay, that has no relation to Kaido. Like he didn't explain what Kaido was lacking that Luffy had. He just said, "I like Luffy." And imagine how bad Luffy would be if he didn't have these things. But it's
No, no,
like
no, dude,
Kaido
dude,
does
dude.
have those
The
things.
scene where Nami asked Luffy to help him is super subtle because like Luffy doesn't say
Oh
anything
yeah, it
until
was
the
show
very
don't
end of
tell.
this. Until the very end of the scene where Luffy told the audience, "I'm going to help you, Nami. I'm gonna punch Arlong now because it's so
Yeah, dude, it
obvious
was
what's happening. It's just literally Luffy being like, "My friend
no,
is
no.
sad.
Also,
I'm gonna punch
he
who's
was
ever
clearly
making him
just
sad."
using buzzwords without knowing what they meant. Like he said, the point of Luffy giving the hat to Nami was it's show don't tell, even though there's plenty of telling going on. He just said that because it's a word that he knows analysis nerds say to mean it's smart and good.
Also, I know that at least in the anime, I'm not sure. I forget if this happened in the manga, but the anime does literally like flash back to Luffy saying, "This hat's my treasure" when he puts it on Nami's
Yeah, it
head.
does in the anime.
And he was using
And
anime
it's
footage the whole time, so I assume he's a fan of the anime.
oh, that's the thing. I can't tell if he's anime only for Wano or not. Like it feels like he might be, but also like he might not be. Because here's the thing: if you're anime only for Wano, this is very dismissive. But I literally don't care about your opinion.
Yeah, no, like again, if you don't read the manga, you're a subhuman to me.
For Wano specifically, I don't care what your take is. Holy shit, you don't. You are not experiencing a normal story. And then he says a few other weird things about Wano. Like well, back to the subtlety thing. He tries to imply that like the problem with Kaido is that if you removed all subtlety and just made him an evil bad guy, he'd still do all the things he did. But it's like that applies to basically every One Piece villain.
Yeah.
That
Why?
applies to that apply. Remember his critique of Kaido was you could switch out his motivation for I'm evil when I do bad things and nothing would change.
Yeah.
And it's like, sure, motivation wise, but like that's true for most villains and like anything ever. Like if you replace Dofi's crucifixion with I'm crazy and evil, he could do the exact same things.
Yeah.
It's not a good point. The point of Kaido's what's funny is when people say Kaido's subtle, they're not saying oh he's subtle therefore he's good. They're saying he's subtle and that's why you're too stupid to understand his character.
Yeah, it's like all right, Kaido's a whole thing about like death, right? And like he wants the perfect death because you think that's the coolest thing a person can have is a cool death. So like, doesn't that change the way you would view like the Odin scene or like what he says to the samurai or like his dialogue would change if you change his motivation at the very least. We could agree on that.
Yeah. And then also he kind of just like he does the thing that like basically when a reviewer asks why as a criticism, it means that they can't think of an explanation. We've probably done this a couple times, Puff, mainly stuff like we do it sarcastically. Like why does Seven Deadly Sins introduce a cool power and then not use it? And the like we say it sarcastically, but the answer is like the author probably forgot or couldn't find a good place to.
Yeah.
But when he'll do it, he'll be like, why did Izo die and not a different scabbard? And then he just kind of moves on. And it's like, no, explore that. There's an answer. There's an answer. You can't just say why and move on. There's an answer. You're
Dude, why
using
didn't we
why as a
just kill
criticism.
Kawamatsu? Why wasn't
Yeah.
it Kawamatsu?
No. Like literally, he's doing the mere fact that he's asking questions is a criticism. The mere fact that the series is making him think is a criticism. It's and he doesn't think. It was very bad.
Yeah, I'd
And
be
then he
like,
made another video.
like if I read Monster, like, okay, why does Johan care so much about like what his
I
mom
think
did
it's
to him?
Johan.
Oh, sorry, Johan cares so much about what his mom did to him. It's like, yeah, okay, I can ask that all day, but like the story gives you the answers and the tools you need to answer the question. It doesn't
It's
matter if you
not.
just can't figure it out. Just do
Yeah.
it.
And then no, and then also like he just does the thing where he does a character flaw equals bad writing where he's like, why won't Kaido start a war now? Why is he doing it later? And it's like the current generation of high tier pirates being stagnant to a fault is a key flaw that they all share.
Yeah.
Except for Blackbeard, he's the goat man.
Also, like, very intentionally, Kaido wants to start the biggest war so he can have, like, the biggest, coolest, most well-known death that would get in all the news coup papers and, you know, spread his name far and wide, like Whitebeard and Roger and...
Yeah. No, that's the thing. He equates Kaido to Hisoka and Kenpachi, which is wrong. Kaido is not a man who lives and dies solely for fighting. Kaido likes fighting,
Yeah, he
but
does
so
like
do like
fighting.
a lot of One Piece characters. It's like a very normal thing to like. Kaido wants to die cool. A cool way to die could be fighting, like, I don't know, like 3v1ing the admirals. That could be a cool way to die. But another cool way to die could be like, I don't know, he blows up an important building and starts the end of the world. He would think that was also pretty fucking
Yeah,
rad.
I think his idea was literally, I'll get the One Piece being known as the Pirate King, then I would challenge the world government or whoever else wants to fight me, and then, like, die getting dogpiled by, like, 8 top tiers. That's, like, his ideal
Yeah,
death, I
like
think.
Kaido wants to die coolly because the point is all the people he loves, like the point is he compared it to Roger and Whitebeard. Those guys died with legacies. Kaido wants that and he thinks the way to do that is to die cool. And that's the thing. He's wrong.
Yeah,
No matter
because
how
it's
cool he
not
dies,
how...
Kaido won't have a legacy because he has like two people that like him.
Yeah, and also, like, the point with Whitebeard and Roger, that they died for something, not for the sake of dying for the sake of dying.
Yes, which is the point of why Izo died and Kinemon didn't. Because Kinemon and Kiku were just trying to kill themselves for the hell of it, whereas Izo died to defend his friends.
Yeah, it was like, I want to join Odin in death because I don't see a reason to live without my lord. And it was just like, no, fuck that. Get Usopp, carry them out of here. I'm gonna go hold off CP0 for a bit.
You know, yeah, and then like he complained that CP0 didn't fight back against Kaido.
Okay, like,
Really? He didn't fight back or anything?
I think we could just clearly see that he accepted that he's not gonna get out of this. Like, he can't outrun Kaido. Kaido's gonna kill this man no matter what. So he's just like gonna face his death with dignity
Well,
instead of
and
running
that's like
away.
the tragedy of it, of like it shows his complete compliance as a tool.
Yeah.
That's why like the most meaningful thing he says is when he says he's jealous of Drake.
Yeah, because Drake's doing what he wants, but he doesn't get to do what he wants. He only follows orders.
Which is cool because Drake is the leader of Sword, and he is an important member of CP0. It's Aegis or Aegis, I don't know how you say it.
Aegis.
And that's a shield.
Yeah.
It's cool. Drake gets to carve his own path, but this guy is stuck upholding the status quo, meaning he has to do dumb shit, like kill himself so one emperor can keep his position, because it'd be worse than a different emperor stealing his position.
Oh, shit, I forgot about the most important thing that happened last chapter.
Oh no, what?
Shiki got a rival.
You know, in retrospect, probably could have guessed that. In retrospect,
The
probably could have
golden
guessed that.
lion, the
In
silver
the
axe.
probably could have guessed that in retrospect, but fucking oops. Oh well. Dude, does that mean he was Rayleigh's rival when later on they would have a silver off?
Dude, does that mean that
um,
silver axe is Rayleigh's older brother?
yes. Or dude, does that mean Silver Axe was one of Shiki's right hand man during the Ed War?
The
uh,
most mysterious
many
battle in all of One Piece, the Ed
many
War.
silly questions. Anyway, the other video Kumo Bear made was this Whole Cake Island one, which okay, so here's the thing. First, he says that Oda is remaking Whole Cake Island, or is remaking Enies Lobby with Whole Cake Island. So he has to match the hype of Enies Lobby, which I don't know what the fuck that means. Um, No, just because you're doing a rescue arc doesn't mean you're doing that again. Like, couldn't you just as easily say he's doing Fishman Island again? Not Fishman Island, Arlong Park again? Like, it's silly. And then the other thing he does is completely bastardize Sanji's motivation for the arc.
Yeah.
The two big ones are he says, "What did Vito say to Sanji? We don't learn." Yes, we do.
Yeah, we literally do. They
Even if
flash
we
back
don't,
to it later.
even if we don't, you can infer because it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I know. Again, even if we never heard it, it's like, all right, it could only be like literally one thing, and he's talking about Zeph.
Well, also Vito was also
He's just
whispering.
alluding
Yeah.
to the fact that like, oh, Big Mom will threaten the people you love. Like it's something to
Well,
that
and
effect.
Vito was warning Sanji about his arms one time. And then there's all that, and then also the other thing he says that's baffling is he says Sanji saving his family is not selfless; it's actually self-serving because his comprehension is that if Sanji left, Big Mom would team up with Judge to kill Zeph, which is not true. If Sanji left, Big Mom would kill Judge because she wanted to do that anyway.
Yeah, she like that's why like this happened. Sanji overheard Pudding talking to Reiju, being like, "Yeah, we're gonna kill your family tomorrow, and I'm gonna erase your memory so you don't remember this conversation."
No, the thing is, by leaving Judge to die, because here's the thing, people forget this. The people who were threatening Zeph wasn't Big Mom, it was Judge.
Yeah,
So if Sanji left Judge to die, he could actually ensure Zeph's safety. But Sanji is so kind-hearted, he saves the people threatening to kill his dad, his real dad. And in doing that, he indebts them to him to the point that due to Judge's pride and also not wanting to fuck with the Fifth Emperor, Zeph is safe.
yeah.
And then he also says that Sanji doesn't have agency, thus it's bad. Opposed to Robin, because he's like, Robin left because she felt like she had to die, not because it would protect the crew. Which is like, no,
No,
she left because Lucci showed up, and also they got jumped by an admiral like 3 days ago.
I know.
She
Like,
very clearly is convinced if she stays with the Straw Hats, the government is going to kill them. Like, not some vague time in the future, like in 2 days.
yeah, it's like even if you can beat Lucci, like they can just send out Kiji the next day, and then they'll all die, or
Yeah,
like they'll
again,
want to
because they
ditch
already
me.
showed he's weaker than Kuzan.
Like this is something she says in dialogues that like they'll either keep coming after me, and then you'll want to jump me for being a burden, or they'll just get you. They'll kill
No,
you
and
all, and I'll have to watch it happen.
yeah, so Sanji, just like Robin, feels like they are forced into their situation. They feel like if they don't do it, bad things will happen to the people they care about. But then also, here's the next thing. Why is them not having agency bad? One Piece is a story about freedom. The villains stealing the freedom away from our beloved characters makes sense.
But
It
cheeky
shows why
characters
they're
having
bad.
autonomy is good because it means there's more writing in them and
Hmm.
stuff. Like when you're trying to make a strong female character like Sanji, you need to give them autonomy and like
That
agency
is
in the
true.
plot for
That
them
is
to be good.
true.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's
Do you want to
so
turn
no, it's
Sanji into Princess Peach? Is that what you want, Shiki? Is that what you
yes,
want?
yes, I do.
What?
First of all, I'm not the only person who wanted that. I can name a whole island of people who wanted that. You saw the color of the dress and the wig. And then and then
Accidentally woke.
it's yeah, easy. And then it's the his video is really confusing too because he does this with Wano too. It's kind of like we watch an old Bleach video about this where it's like less characters equals better story,
Yeah, because
which
like
is weird. Like, one big one is he said all of the Vince Smoke could be one character. And it's like, but that ruins the fun because the point is they're a Super Sentai team.
I know.
So there needs to be 5 of them because Reiju. And that's why it's funny.
Also, like again, the way these people talk, it's like literally they want to combine characters into a super character and act like suddenly you get like a 3 times more developed character if you just smash three together, which is
Yes,
not
which
how
is
that works at
so
all.
confusing. It's like also it's just like a lack of fun. Like it's fun that Big Mom has 500 wacky fucking kids. It makes it more fun to read the arc because the people you're looking at are
Shiki,
interesting to look
you're
at.
stupid. They should have made Flampe and Pudding the same character.
That's true. No, it's like he does that where it's like where it's also just like another thing like this is kind of the thing with Wano like why do we meet the Yakuza bosses? Why do we meet numbers? The point of this is it puts faces to crowds and makes it so you have a better idea of what's going on. It's not just nameless samurai army fighting nameless a gifter army. It's like, oh look, the rabbit yakuza is fighting an ice oni gifter. We know what's going on because we know these guys.
Yeah, like
We don't have to like them, but it by putting a face to an idea, it makes it so we know it makes it more fucking interesting.
yeah, it's just trying to sell the scale of the conflict in a way that's like interesting, and like, if you don't like that, that's fine. But also, I thought you jerked One Piece off for having good world building. What the hell, dude? What
Yeah,
happened?
like he complains about Oven fighting Sanji, and it's like, would it be better if some no-name goon fought Sanji? That's less fun. It's fun because Oven is a big, funny, strong man.
Yeah, like I think the one that always I go back to is like that old Bleach video again, where the guy's talking about like Uryu's grandmother, and like how Uryu's dad's talking with his mom, and just like yeah, the mom is not important, she does not need to be here. And it's like, what are you talking about? If we want to show like Uryu's dad struggling with his legacy of a Quincy and like his responsibilities as like the next head of the family, then having him talk with one of the older Quincy is what makes sense. And the one that you'd make it the most emotionally impactful for Uryu's dad specifically would be one of his parents. So even if the mom herself isn't very important, it's very important for Uryu's dad's character. I'm forgetting his name. Uryu's dad's character, that he talks to his mom. Like, it's okay for a character to just show up and serve a function, then that be it. They don't have to be super well developed to earn their place in the story. It'd be such an
Yeah,
asinine way to do. Like, I'm trying to imagine like any good movie that like does that and tries to make every single character who appears the most well developed thing ever. And it's like that doesn't happen ever, almost never,
yeah,
unless
like
there's like 5 characters and like it's like a really small cast.
oh, and then also the other thing with that is the double standard. Let's bring up Water 7, which he said was one of, if not the best One Piece arcs. The Wolf Riders, the
The
Shadow
Wolf Rider
Ball and Chain,
Brigade.
the Wolf Riders, the
The
Shadow Ball
guilty
and Chain
jury.
Man.
You're
Yeah,
guilty, so I'm gonna throw this wrecking ball at you. Ha ha! I'm
yeah,
such a
no, no.
well-developed
What's
character
funny is
because this
those guys
wrecking
were
ball
portrayed as like a
symbolizes
threat. Like we spent chapters being like, "Oh, what's attacking us from the shadows? Oh, they got
my name's
Yokozuna.
Chief
Oh, what could it
Baskerville.
be?" Yeah, Chief Baskerville. I'm judge, jury, and executioner. Like we've always had this. One Piece has always had silly fucking goobers for the crowds to fight because it's more fun when they're fighting silly fucking goobers instead of just like, I don't know, 500 copy pasted Marines. That's less fun. Or like when they fight the 500 captains at the end of Enies Lobby. It's more fun to fight Berry and Shu than to fight like
Another
generic
guy with a sword. Another
yeah,
guy
then to
with a
fight like I
sword.
don't know,
Another
like
guy
a
with a
raid
sword.
boss in the first level of Pirate Warriors 4 or something. Like it's that simple. It's more visually
I'm
entertaining.
literally like thinking about like Treasure Cruise and like the generic like this is like a captain who's a shooter
This is
type.
a
This is a
big
captain.
Marine.
This is a captain who's like a sword type. This is a captain who's a power type. And you just fight like 800 of those guys over and over. All right. So, dude, you remember how Morge was supposed to be the chosen one?
Yeah.
And now he just does agenda piece with all of his videos, and it's very
No,
disappointing.
like here's the thing. Audience capture is an interesting term because at first I thought it was just a nice way to say you're a sellout. You do whatever your audience wants. But with Morge, I now understand what audience capture is. Morge interacting with people on Twitter and in his chat, I think has actively made the way he talks about One Piece sound dumber.
I know. Yeah,
Like
no.
he in a serious analysis video is like these Blackbeard pirates are portrayed as competent or at least successful, and then these guys are regularly embarrassed, and it's like, oh my god, this sounds like I'm watching an agenda piece TikTok, but it's not. It's a Morge video.
I know, and like the thing is about that whole Blackbeard thing about like basically his thing was he's sharing like the original crew was being portrayed as more competent than like the new guys from Impel Down, but like in his whole like clowning on Brigade of like bringing up all the examples of like you tripping over himself when he fights Garp or whatever, he fails to bring up something like Magellan defeating every Blackbeard pirate at once at the same time, then Shiryu has to bail them out.
Or like he has to lie and say Burgess is portrayed as competent and not a fucking goober
I mean, like,
goofball.
to be fair, you could be like, well, he was fighting Sabo, man. I mean, if you're fighting King
Yeah, and then
Katakuri,
he
it's
fought
hard to
him,
look
let's
good.
remember how that Sabo fight really went. What's weird is like I understand how you could argue Burgess is treated more competently than like Shiryu.
Or,
Like
Devon. And, like, Devon is, again, like, a character you have to be, like, make an exception for because she, like, hasn't, like, gone, quote-unquote, embarrassed in any way. And also, she's
well,
obviously
and
going to be
he needs
important.
her for his theory about the pacifista being not the pacifista, the Seraphim being controlled.
Yeah.
And then also, here's another thing. Um, more like agenda piece things too is he's been doing this for like a little over a year now, I think, is when in his counter arguments he brings up the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and I don't know who he's arguing with. For example, when stating that the Seraphim are going to be strong when they grow up, he said, and no, Vegapunk not being a fighter is not Vegapunk not being a fighter is not evidence that he doesn't know how strong they'll be. And I was like, who the fuck is saying that?
I know, like, that sounds like
Like
literally
that's like
one
one
guy
guy
on
you heard
Twitter.
on Twitter. Or like one dumbass in your chat. Like I don't believe that's a real common critique because it doesn't make sense.
I know, like, all right,
And
thinking
then
about, like, pretend you're, like, an average viewer in the store. It's like, all right, do you have any reason to be suspicious of Vegapunk talking about how cool he thinks the Seraphim will be when they grow up? Like,
no, I don't even think we need to
no.
analyze this. I think everyone understands it's like no one is seriously saying that. Like that's not a serious conversation.
Like,
And
what,
then
you have
also
to
like
be a fighter to understand that admirals
yeah,
are stronger than
yeah,
page
let's do
one.
this now. Oh, and then on top of that, we also had he basically his point is the new Blackbeard pirates make stinky bad doo doo matchups. Even though I want Frankie to fight Wolf in a mecha, I want it so bad, and I want Jinbei to fight. I want Pizarro to be a fishman with drunken fisherman karate. I want that so bad. If a Viva card says he's human, I'm gonna say the Viva card's fucking lying. I
Yes.
don't care. um, so I want all of that. So I don't agree, but let's agree. Let's look at what his matchups were. I can send a screenshot of this to you later, Puff. But his matchups are like Luffy versus first of all, he said all of these matchups are personal to the characters with one exception. And the matchups are like Luffy versus Blackbeard, sure.
Yeah.
Zoro versus S Hawk, which is like, yeah, sure, like
Yeah,
that one fits.
yeah, that fits, yeah.
And then it gets funnier because because he says that Sanji's matchup is S Flamingo.
And I was like, why? Because, like, Sanji fought Doflamingo for five
Yes,
seconds in
yes. His reason
Dressrosa,
is that
and that
it
was
would be a hype
literally his
matchup.
reason. Like, what?
No, no. He gave an extra reason. He also said S Flamingo would definitely be admiral level, which is like I don't care
It's
how strong he is if the fight's lame. And we'll get to our alternate S
it's
Flamingo
just like,
idea
well, it's like
later.
I just want to stop and pause for it because, like, that's so, like, lame. It's not like Sanji's, like, has PTSD over his failure of stopping Doflamingo or anything. Like,
No, he doesn't care. And then like he brings up a few
what?
that are like and then like I would say the most interesting ones he brings up are S Hawk Zoro and S Shark Jinbei because S Shark Jinbei especially would be cool because S Shark Jinbei is actually not a perfect clone of Jinbei. He's actually an inferior in a sense, or not an inferior, but an alternate because he has a devil fruit. He swims in the land, whereas Jinbei is a fishman who uses the water. So actually, it would be like Jinbei seeing a completely bastardized version of who he is used for the government's aim. And I think that could be really
Yeah,
cool.
he's literally
And then
landlocked, a landlocked fish
but
man.
then he just brings up boring ones like Brook versus Moria, and it's like, or S Gecko, and it's like S Gecko doesn't know what Moria did.
I was like, all right, you could do something with that one, I guess. Like, the potential's there, I suppose, but it's like
But like,
really,
it's not that interesting
it's
because they don't
very
know each other.
flimsy when he's trying to present as like these ironclad. It'll be so emotional if this. It's like, no, like, you can do something with it if you try, but you have to put in the work. It's not like this is
Yeah.
already a great matchup.
And then he said and the one exception is Frankie versus Burgess would be a machismo fight because Frankie always has machismo fights or something. I don't care. And then he says S Croc will not fight Robin, even though that would be personal. This as at least as personal as like Brooks in the sense of you're fighting the person who tried to kill you, or like the clone of the person who tried to kill you who doesn't fucking know you. But then he said no, Robin will fight Devon for a reason I've been saying for years and I agree with, which is where the problem with Robin is you can't give her fights because she one-shots opponents. A shapeshifter seems like a pretty good counter to that
Yeah.
because she could shapeshift out of a clutch. So I do agree that that's a good possibility.
I
But
just had a
then,
funny idea. I'm just imagining the straw pirates slowly like adopting sins of the father because they're fighting the clubs.
yeah, like they
Like
just
folks
turn
like,
evil.
this is for everything you did you to me. It's like, what are you talking about? I never met
Who
you
the
before,
fuck are
Brooke.
you?
And
And
you
then,
stole my
and then,
shadow and I was out of the sunlight for 50 years. It's like, what are you
who
talking
the hell
about?
are you? I've never met you. and then, he said, oh, who I think S Croc should fight is a mystery. I'll say for Patreon. I'm just gonna guess Smoker is his answer without checking. I'm just gonna guess he says Smoker.
It's like,
Or maybe
listen, you can.
Vivi, but Vivi's too weak, so it has to be Smoker.
It's like, all right, you can do that, but why not just have Smoker fight
Like
crocodiles? Like,
crocodile.
yeah, like
Well, no,
why
we
not
can't
just
critique
have
that because that's just my guess at what he's hiding. But then here's the thing,
no, not
guys.
S Croc. I mean crocodile.
No. I mean, no. The idea that he wants Smoker to fight S Croc is my guess because he hit it.
Yeah.
He hit it on paper. No. Anyway, but here's the thing we thought of Puff while watching this, which is, wait a minute. There's a much more interesting person that should fight S Hawk. Or not S Hawk, S Flamingo. There is a much more interesting person that should be fighting S Flamingo.
His name is Trafalgar D. Waterlaw.
Cause like no shit.
It's like, hey, you get the grudge match thing you want with yours, but also in addition, this is actually like a thematic continuation where it's like, oh, Corazon believed that Doflamingo was like, born evil and all that, but then later
But then
realized he
he
was
realized
wrong
that,
because like he saw
yeah,
like, oh,
right.
there's goodness in law, and there could have been goodness in Doflamingo if like maybe I
And they
tried to.
clarify that Law could have turned out like Doflamingo if he
Yeah.
went down that
Yeah, they
same
keep
path. And it's
saying
like,
that like
oh,
don't like he's just like Doflamingo when he was just like him, and it's like, oh yeah, if I like got to Doflamingo sooner or like tried harder, maybe I could have convinced him not to become the evilest person on the planet.
mhm,
Too bad though. Now he is, and you have to kill him now, Law.
yeah.
So then it could
Um,
be like Law looks at literally Doflamingo's clone, someone who should be born evil just like him, if that's true, and then be like, actually, no, you're not. I
because
can
he
talk
hasn't
to
been
him.
crucified, he hasn't been raised as a celestial dragon. He's just kind of like an asshole. And
Like
it's like,
either
oh,
talk no jutsu him or like just like kind of beat him up without killing him, being like, hey, you have much to learn, kid. And also you're not that bad, and also I'm gonna just like keep you occupied or
yeah,
like
like a Dofi who was not indoctrinated under celestial dragons and wasn't crucified is like, is he just gonna be like kind of like a smug asshole and that's like all he's got going on?
yeah, and it'd be like if I was a petty asshole, like I'd torture you for just because you look like Doflamingo, but I don't want to do that because I'm not evil like him anymore. I'm
So
not
that
like
would be
Doflamingo.
super interesting.
Yeah.
Also, other minor thing that he brought up that he didn't bring up is, I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Vegapunk said he can't remake Logias, in which case, what the fuck is S Croc's fruit? The joke I made is he has shoes rust fruit. That's still a fun question. But yeah, just Sanji versus S Flamingo
Oh
sounds
my
really
god,
lame
dude! Imagine
when
if
Law
he
can
got
fight him.
like the wax. He was just like, I couldn't get the Logia, but I got his
I got
subordinates.
close enough.
I got his subordinates. Devil fruit. I got that.
That'd be
It felt
funny.
appropriate.
Or he'll just have like a dust paramecia or some bullshit. What's next? Because that was fun to talk about. It was very funny
Okay,
Mordred.
so this is just a funny sentence O'Hara said, which is just like, I hate the language that you're using this with. Is
Mhm.
Blackbeard is Luffy's emu counterpart in the modern era. I forget what the lead up into that sentence was, but it is like just pure nonsense.
Because you know, Luffy Eam is Luffy's Eam. Eam's still alive.
Yeah,
It's kind of like when people
yeah.
ask who's Luffy's Garp, and it's like Garp. Garp is Luffy's
And
Garp.
ironically, Garp is Luffy's Garp. He's still around. He still, is he still fights Luffy sometimes. He's still
Like he gives him the jovial rivalry shit. Like Garp is Luffy's Garp.
yeah.
And that's why people argue about if it's Kobe or Smoker because they each have aspects. Kobe has the like friendly aspect, but he's not really Luffy's rival, whereas Smoker does have the like angry rival shit more. And the reason neither of them fit perfectly is because they're not.
No, I think this is like in our fourth Bad One Piece stream where we talked about how people
About forced
overuse
parallels.
parallels and try and
Oh,
force them.
speaking of forced parallels, Puff, the left and right wing of rocks.
Oh my god, dude,
Shiki, It's a wing of
It's
rocks.
literally stands beside scaling we're doing right now. We're literally
Yeah,
doing
and
that again.
yeah, it's like, dude, I don't care. I don't even like the funny thing is like, let's say that like sure, let's say that Shiki is the chief of staff and Whitebeard is the vice captain. That doesn't mean anything because as we've been shown and told many times, the Rocks Pirates don't act like a crew because they don't respect each other. So any hierarchy is just for show.
Yeah.
Shiki, like every other sentence out of Shiki's mouth when he's with Rocks is "Shut up, Rocks! I don't like you. I want to betray you." He doesn't.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's so any sense of hierarchy on the crew doesn't matter because they don't like each other
But
and they don't
Shiki,
respect their
remember the
captain.
old data book? We got like Garp, oh sorry, not Garp. We got Roger equals Whitebeard equals Shiki, and now we can add Silver Axe to that because he is Shiki's rival, and
Funny, just funny.
then Shaki goes above all of them because she defeated Roger.
Yeah. Also, I'm not gonna explain. You guys can extrapolate for yourselves. This chapter confirmed that Zoro's gonna end up with Marigold end of series.
Hell yeah!
I'm not explaining that any further. Um, yeah, what's next? Because that was so fucking
All right,
goofy.
that's all of them.
That's all of them. All right, comment time.
Woohoo! So let's get to the One Piece comments.
Yeah, no, I'm going to them. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm the comment master. Davy back fights are back, baby. All right, let's see what we got. We got 100 something comments. There might be good shit here.
Wowie zowie.
Part of that's because we got people like Blue Majin who like post their or whatever fuck his name is. We'll get to him. Who post Sanji Joestar, not Blue Majin, that's a different guy. Sanji Joestar, who posts his ideas as he watches, so that helps fill the comment list. Thank you. Let's see here. Um, I feel bad for Rox not getting his love for Harold requited. The fact that it's been confirmed he keeps going back to bug him does make that a very funny reading.
I know, especially because he like beat the shit out of his kid and like seems to do that repeatedly as well.
That is hilarious. Let's see here.
He's beat up him at least twice. At least
Um, if,
twice.
if Rock's sword isn't black, Mihawk is a better swordsman than Rock's is a common argument. That's just an agenda meme. I think even agenda pushers understand because agenda's like half mean, half serious. That's kind of the point of it. That's why it's somewhat fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like even they understand that it's probably a strategy, not a real, not a strategy. It's probably a technique, not a power level check. It's like, oh, you truly become one with the blade, and then your hockey permanently infuses, or some bullshit. And then someone's like, what the fuck happened to Ohara? I think that's when I said, he said Usopp should die before the final battle because he won't be strong enough. And the answer is, Ohara doesn't believe in anything. He
I know,
just
like
said
that's why I keep calling him a scorpion because it's just like, guys, he's just a gouger. He's just gonna say whatever he thinks will get a rise out of people. That's all he does now. That's all he lives for, and he's very transparent about that. Honestly.
Let's see here. I can see Caribou getting recognized again, like in his cover story. We made that joke, and he can already fulfill the role of pirate prophet since he knows so much about ancient weapons. Because yeah, Caribou does talk religiously a lot.
Oh my god,
And
it
then
would be so
Blackbeard,
funny if he just earned that
Blackbeard is
epithet.
his hero for a reason, I guess. We have said this 100 times. I think Caribou's lying. I don't think he actually is Blackbeard's Barto. I think he's just lying.
Yeah, he was sucking up to Luffy when he was trying to get out of Wano. Because like, please let me on your ship, Luffy
Mr.
senpai,
Luffy, sir. Yeah.
Mr.
Um,
Luffy Sama Sensei.
Rock says he worships Davy Jones makes me think that the myth of Davy back fights and Davy being cursed by the Sea Devil actually originated as Davy Jones having the power of Domi Reversi. Maybe, I don't fucking know.
It'd be funny
uh,
if it's like if you lose this like game of ring toss, I steal your soul and you become a demon and you work
yes.
for me forever.
I feel like the wonky text boxes in the magazine version might just be because of deadlines. Well, yeah, that's obviously why like Oda like accidentally forgets to put an epithet.
Yeah.
Um,
Like he doesn't have
I got two.
unlimited time to make each chapter,
I have two
unfortunately.
little theories I'd like to share. First theory, the characters of the ancient language phonetically correspond to the laughs of the One Piece world. The chapter that Robin meets Saul begins with Clover expressing the importance of preserving history through time. When Robin hears Saul's laugh, she initially confuses it for the language, and then they talk about the meaning of the D. You know what? I don't think that's likely at all, but that sounds awesome.
That
That
sounds
like
pretty cool.
Ziha and get it. Like that is so fucking fun and cool that I even though I don't think it's very likely because that just sounds like it would take too long to explain. Because that sounds like it would take too long to explain. I feel like that's one problem with a lot of I think that's one problem with a lot of complicated One Piece theories is just this would take a while to explain to the reader. But that's so fun, I like it anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just trying to
I
imagine
think
like
that
trying to explain that concept to like a 6-year-old reading One Piece and be like, can they get it? Can I truly
yeah.
communicate this idea to them?
And then he brought up the whole the D isn't a word; it's a smiley face, which I think actually did get some proof when we learned the people of the half moon, where it's like, oh, maybe it literally isn't short for anything; it's just that symbol, and the half moon symbol is important because it looks like a smile. Like that's possible.
Yeah.
Why are people saying Buggy is Rox's son when Foxy is right there? Why not all three?
Right?
I wish Gansui was Silverax because it'd be funny if a character called Silver was neither silver nor had an axe. That would be funny. Um, Second theory: Kaido's top five isn't a straightforward power scaling list. It's who he believes is closest to becoming Joy Boy. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just the people he respects.
Yeah.
Like that's why no Marines are there because he doesn't like Marines. Like we know he respects Roger and Whitebeard. We can assume he respected Rocks, and it seems like he respects Shanks too, and that all makes sense.
Yeah. And
Like that could even be why Big Mom's not there because he's like that's like his older sister, and he's like I don't respect her. She's a bitch.
yeah.
um, it could be that.
Yeah, no,
One
like
thing I don't.
if it was a straightforward power scaling thing, and it says only a few people can fight me equally, then like Big Mom should be there because
Yeah,
they literally did
obviously,
fight
because
equally for
she did
days
fight
on
him
end.
equally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Elbaf arc is going to be the tie between Bing Sake and Joy Boy, since alcohol. Oh, because all the towns are named after alcohol. That could be cool. Um, Maybe. Like, I feel like Bing Sake being important seems pretty fucking likely,
Yeah.
and that could be a reason. Let's see here. The spoiler rant reminded me of how my friend was streaming their Twitter timeline to me, and we both got spoiled. um, why is fix the system closer to evil than good apple? Because I'm lazy, and also I think for literally for good apple, I was imagining Smoker, and for fix the system, I was imagining Fujitora, and I was like, I like Smoker more.
Honestly, you could say they're just as good. They're just like doing different things. Honestly, like that's
uh,
fine. I don't think it's like meant like doing a straightforward morality tier list, which path is better. Like is just gonna get into like
yeah.
weird,
Oh,
ambiguous
and then
territory like that. So
someone pointed out something cute that's true, which is Loki used to use a knife when he was little, but now he uses a hammer. Rox was stated that his swings were like a hammer or a cannon. Loki's replicating Rox, and that's cute.
yeah.
Um, let's see here. Um, let's see.
I think it'd be
Another
funny
case.
to imagine him being like he when he busted my fucking kidneys. I think he swung his hammer like or he swung his sword like this in this stance.
Let's see here. Was it? Oh yeah, Puff. We mixed up Morganeers and Buccaneers when we were making our
All
joke
right,
about
yeah.
Morganeers.
Morganeers is what was from the one shot, and
Yeah, whatever.
Buccaneers.
We're done.
Yeah.
I always loved the Foxy arc, and I thought it was funny. Good for you. I agree. Um, let's see here. I need more context because how? What did we say? Fuck. There's a fucking Dunkin' Donuts ad. No, there's another ad. Ah! It's for that Starlight Revolver game. Oh, someone's wondering why I said O'Hara thought Dragon threatened to kill Kuma. Because we do bring this up a lot. I guess I should explain it more than once. Um, Basically, O'Hara read the chapter where Kuma met Luffy, and he's like gonna ask Dragon about it. And Dragon says, "You may as well kill me," because like Dragon saying his weakness is Luffy. But O'Hara was fucking speed reading and thought Dragon threatened to kill Kuma for bringing up his son, which is
yeah.
so funny because it's so stupid. um, let's see here. I have no idea what Davy Jonesian is supposed to be. I don't care that that was revealed to be an incorrect translation, and it's better to say worshiper or like admirer. Davy Jonesian pirate is a peak ass fucking title. I'm gonna keep using it. Um, let's see here. We forgot that Diaz Barrels was a Marine for a little bit. Oopsie.
Oh yeah, right,
Um,
yeah. No, this is why I want to check for things we got wrong, but you rushed me into making this video.
well, we're doing it now. Wow.
Okay.
I can't wait for the same people that said Long Ring Longland is the worst arc in the series to suddenly start gassing it and saying how good it is only because Davy backfights are relevant. Yeah,
Fake fans. They're
it's
fake
like they
fans,
said.
all of them.
It's like they said this the Skypiea thing is happening again.
Yep.
It's so annoying because people are like, "Oh, this will finally make Davy back fights good." And it's like, no, it was always good because it was funny. Um, I believe the ability to use conquerors is rooted in disposition more than anything else. I agree. I think the idea that it's genetic is due to how rare it is and people just making assumptions. Um,
Or like even if it is genetic, I imagine you can only like awaken it if you do have the
oh yeah,
disposition
that
of.
still seems obvious with someone like Ace who never used it as an adult.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, what's this? Oh, someone brought up how the other thing with like how Impel Down, like the thing about how it's Eva being the demons, not Aim. Something they brought up is like that's also supposed to show Impel Down not caring about its prisoners. That like prisoners literally go missing and they're like, demons because it's a
I'm
bad
gonna
prison.
pretend I didn't see anything because
Yep.
I don't want to deal with that.
Can I say this is me with Loki had a tragic past, so he isn't all that bad? Okay, what was this? Oh, this was us joking about how Sakazuki having a sad backstory doesn't make him a good person. I guess they're going to say with Loki. I have some caveats with Loki, but I guess I'll hear you out. Attacks the village when his dad leaves. No misunderstanding. He just did that. Beats the fuck out of his older brother and consistently brings up that he is a bastard child and his mother had tainted blood. Implied to have killed his brother. He was still trust, but he still tried to kill him. Harujin said he was a liar and can't be trusted with everything else being true. I don't doubt it. First of all, Loki isn't lying about having not killed his dad. That part's obviously true.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Loki being a bad person. I don't care. He was like fucking 11 on a giant warrior nation continent. And also, literally, he was dropped literally like hundreds of feet regularly. That kid's gonna come out a little fucked. And as long as they fucking get their shit together, which it seems like Loki is at least a little bit, like he's still a bad person. He'd lit the tree on fire. But like, he's getting his shit together.
Dude, Garp's a terrible person and Roger's a terrible person. I like them both.
No, but I guess some people are acting like he's just the sad boy, and it's like, no. Obviously, Loki became a pretty shitty person because of the things done to him. Opinion: Melon T is the best large One Piece YouTuber. I wish she was as big as the other ones, because honestly, it feels like there's a bit of a spectrum there.
Yeah, I never get
She's
like.
starting to do shorts now, and that might help make her bigger.
Yeah, like Melty's good. She does cool character and stuff. It's just that like sometimes when I watch her, I'll feel like there's two sentences I wish you phrased very differently because I'm getting upset now. Like when she
Oh
said
no,
there
I
was
do.
no subtext around Anel's character whatsoever, I'm like, no,
Yeah, no.
he's
Everyone
like
thought she just
nothing
says
but subtext. Like she
no, everyone
obviously she's
else
talking
say
about
a thing
like
that I disagree with just a little bit. Like another one is like when she's like, Dofi is literally pure evil and doesn't care about his subordinates at all, and it's like Dofi clearly objectifies his subordinates and doesn't treat them as real people, but also he did a farewell to Vergo when he knew he was going to die. You don't do that if you think it's like a toy. He does that because clearly, in his own fucked up way, he did value and like Vergo.
yeah. Like,
It's like I
in the
think.
example I was saying, it's like she was talking about the emotional depth behind Kaido. It's like, yes, when we talk about
Mhm.
emotional depth, Enel is a puddle. There's like nothing to him at all.
Yeah.
But he has subtext. It's there. You don't use that word specifically when you say he's shallow. Just say he's like emotionally simple or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Melon T is good. She's probably like the best. She probably is the best big One Piece YouTuber out right now. Like, what's her competition? Like, really?
Yeah. So that's not weird. What is a running gag in One Piece that you wish was used more? This is here again. Um. What's a gag that you wish we saw more often? What's a
Hmm.
gag that you miss?
I. Hmm.
I miss a lot of Chopper gags because I think he just gets less screen time, so we don't see him as often.
I miss I miss Horn Point, but that's not a gag thing. I
It's
just
not a
miss
gag.
Horn Point.
Shut the fuck up.
I just want
Three
Horn
One
Point.
Piece videos in a row. I'm pretty sure you've brought up Horn Point.
Yes. Oh, bring back Horn Point Oda. It's
No,
so
you're
much
saying that because
fun.
you're a Sonic fan, and it looks like a fucking Sonic
No, I'm
OC.
not.
I know,
It
but it
doesn't
does look.
even
I
look
know I'm
like a
fucking with you.
Sonic OC.
Yes, it
Like
does. Yes, it
Chopper,
does.
like Chopper's like hybrid form is the one that looks most like a Sonic
I
character.
don't agree with that at all. I think it's. I
That's
think Horn Point looks
100%
like a
true.
fucking
Like maybe
Sonic
you're talking about
OC.
like Sonic Boom characters. Okay, maybe that's
I
Horn
said
Point.
Sonic OC, not Sonic character. Those are very different
Well,
sentences.
Shiki, unfortunately, no one makes a Sonic Boom OC. No one
That's
does.
not true. I've
Almost,
seen plenty.
yes, they're out there, but like that's like 0.2% of them probably. Like what? Still a huge number in
Mhm.
raw numbers still, but still not a lot, Shiki,
Yeah.
compared to the overwhelming majority. Which
Anyway, I
look,
don't care. What's a gag you miss? What's a gag I miss? Am I forgetting one? I might be forgetting one.
yeah, I feel like I have to like think
Oh
about
no,
this.
one that I love and I every time it happens I'm funny. I like Luffy thinking he's dumb, but also thinking he's smarter than Zoro.
Oh yeah.
That's so fucking it's so funny that Luffy is like very ready to admit that he's a dumbass, but also he strongly believes that Zoro is fucking stupid. And that is so funny. I love that gag a lot. I like whenever Luffy just throws in just Luffy will randomly shade Zoro like out of
All
nowhere.
right.
He's like, "Oh yeah, and Zoro's a
All right,
dumbass."
I think I got one. The thing is, I don't want this gag. I want this gag brought up exactly one more time during the perfect moment, and it's Frankie Centaur. I want that to just reappear at like the right moment, like literally, it's like Frankie's final fight against whatever Blackbeard pirate he's fighting,
Yeah.
or whatever, like Gorosei, whatever the hell, and literally, like it's like, "Ha! I got you now, Cyborg Frankie," and then he realizes, wait a second, did he just like leg lock me? But that doesn't make sense. His legs are right here. Like, did he split? Did his legs split? It's like, yes, they did.
Mhm.
Behold, Frankie Centaur.
I guess adding to that, I want to see Frankie Invincible again.
Oh, Frankie Invincible is wonderful.
It's phenomenal. I'd love to see Frankie Invincible again.
Yeah,
Let's
see,
see
the
here.
fight should open with him using Frankie Invincible, but end with him using Frankie Centaur.
Let's see here. To me, you can interpret the Rock Swordsman as Mihawk agenda, with it tells us swordsmanship is about power, not skill only. Because Shanks' hands will tell you Mihawk is more skilled, but Shanks is stronger. I'll tell you, Shanks punches Mihawk in the face.
Yeah, that is my
That's what I'll
theory.
tell you.
That is my theory until like we learn more. Is that literally it's just gonna be Shanks would win if it came down to a real fight because he's willing to punch him and kick him.
Yeah, because he's a pirate, so he'll do nasty things. And like with rocks, I feel like more like guys who clearly aren't swordsmen the way someone like Zoro or Mihawk is like latest chapter. The way Roger hit Garp with his sword, that's a club.
Yeah, he didn't fucking cut him. He just like whacked him.
That's a club. That's not a blade. And then adding to that is like, I fully believe that rocks would clash swords with you with one hand and shoot you in the face with the other hand. um, All Sakazuki knew about the Oharans is that they were some type of mimetic demons who had the capability to blend into human society and corrupt it from the inside with forbidden knowledge, killing millions in the process. Sakazuki's sinking of the Ohara refugee ship is completely justified based on what he knew. No, it wasn't.
No, it's
He knew
not.
there might be one scholar in there who might leak potentially dangerous
All right, all
information,
right.
maybe.
All right, let's say that the people on Ohara truly are not human and they deserve no rights, okay? Or at least the scholars, right?
Yeah.
Do a screening.
Yeah, just do a screening.
You
That's not that
have the
hard.
ship surrounded. Like, just pause them, say, no, 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 don't leave yet. Anchor down. Wait till we burn your island to the ground. Then we're going to get you off and do a screening.
Yeah, sure.
Do that.
Also, mimetic demons. No, he knew they were humans.
I
Also, the
know,
other
like,
thing is,
they were very aware that they were literally humans. They're just being called demons because, oh,
in
they
his
have
mind, he
evil
killed around
intentions.
no, also Puff just dumb shit. In his mind, he killed around 1,000 people to save millions. That doesn't mean he's a good person. There are people who will do hate crimes because they think the less of the minority there is, the safer the community. That person is still evil. And then it was a moral sacrifice on this part. He is also a victim in that ordeal. No, he's not. He wasn't even ordered to do it. He did it because he wanted
You
to,
know,
because he's
literally,
fucking
the
deranged.
orders were let the civilians go, kill the scholars. And then he's like, nah, fuck that. Let's kill them both.
Yeah, and like obvious proof that like they weren't planning on killing the civilians. Why'd they get them on an evacuation ship in the first place? If they wanted them all dead, they'd just buster call the whole island without doing anything.
Honestly, it's like more like shocking that like Sakazuki like didn't seem to get punished for it in the slightest, and just like, yeah, man, we kind of agree with what you did at the end of the day, absolute justice and all that.
Yeah.
You do you,
Like
man. You're
like you
doing
know, that was
great.
a little much, but like good for you, I
You're
guess.
doing wonderful, Sakazuki. You should get a
Mhm.
promotion. Do you want to be an admiral? I think we need more people like you in the admiral position. People who will be proactive and kill women and children too.
Let's see here. To be fair, Luffy kicked Momo's ass multiple times, and we don't think of him as bad. Guys, you can't compare Luffy doing like cartoon scrapping in a cloud with Momo to Rocks brutally attacking a child with a sword twice minimum.
I know, like literally, it's the equivalent of like like some guy who would like tease a kid by like putting his hand on their forehead, and then like maybe shoving them down harder than they should, to someone who will like hospitalize a kid by drop kicking them on purpose and be like, yeah,
No, the
yeah.
difference is like when Luffy fights Momo, Luffy is entering the same level of immaturity as Momo, and they both fight like little kids. When Rocks fights Loki, that's an adult attacking a child.
And like Rox went into this with like malicious intent, being like, I literally my plan is to hospitalize this kid to get Harold's attention. That
And
was
then
his
the next
goal.
time, literally, in the other time, he's bleeding out on the floor, and Whitebeard's like, "Well, that was a little much, don't you think?" Um, I saw a dumb article on Comic Book Review, and it claimed that Rocks being Blackbeard's father made the story worse because it cheapens the eventual Luffy versus Blackbeard fight and removes any agency from the two characters. That's only if you are the type of dipshit who's like, Ace and Blackbeard fought because it was a grudge match about their fathers. Like that's the only like that only works if you think like an idiot.
Yeah, like you literally, if you want to ignore actual context and just look at what the genetic lineage is and then end the conversation there, sure, you're right, but also there's a fucking story attached to it. Or no, I should say that that's attached to an actual story. Let's look at the rest of it. Why did Ace fight
Someone,
Blackbeard? Because of Thatch. That was his
yeah,
reason. He had agency.
um,
That he literally disobeyed Whitebeard to get that fight.
Yeah. Someone said that Rox's swing is clearly the origin of Divine Departure, and I'll admit it's a very similar form, so that might be where they're going with it.
It would be fun if maybe they learned from the same like teacher. It's like, behold, the sword club technique, and then it's like, ah, oh, dude, we should like both do that, and then try and kill each other with it later.
hmm Let's see here. I caught up. Someone basically, we've got a few commenters who's like, I get you guys pointed out that the live action isn't important for getting people to read One Piece, but like it got me to, and I'm like, good for you. But also, in the grand scheme of things, One Piece doesn't need more advertising.
Yeah, like it's already like the highest selling comic book of all time, besides like Batman and Superman. Like
Yeah.
enough people are reading One Piece. I don't feel the need to like like if you're interested in One Piece, odds are you've read it already. Like it's not like it's being hidden from anyone.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm interested. Does seeing rocks in the flower room change your opinion on who Luffy's final fight will be? No,
Not
I
really. If
still think
anything, I
it's
feel like
aim.
I'm leaning more towards Eam because now we've seen Rocks, but Eam is still a silhouette. So
That
like,
is fair.
yeah,
Like again, it could like I'm not gonna say Blackbeard's impossible, but no, this still makes me think Eam. Like I'm still leaning Eam for now.
yeah.
Um, let's see here. I love Moggy when let's see here, but they dropped it around the Aladdin parent flashback or something. Good for you.
Oh, dude,
Um,
it's so funny to think that like people want like extended periods of time away from the Strats and how cool that would be. And then when Moggy did that, like its sales tanked so hard that like it almost like ended the series, even though it was super cool and I liked that part of the story so much.
um, oh, and then someone was upset that we said the only person who definitively, no if, ands, or buts, beat a high tier in a 1v1 is Sakazuki. Um, and then someone's like, you gotta include Shanks for what he did to Green Bull. And it's like, no, scaring a guy who just fought Kaido's crew and is now fighting the Scabbards and plans on fighting Luffy, getting scared because he learns he now has to fight Shanks and his whole crew is not the same as beating someone in a 1v1. That's not what that
Like,
means.
all right, if you like want to say that like with this information we can say with confidence that Shanks is likely stronger than Green Bull, Go ahead, say that, you
Sure,
shanktard.
but it's
Go
not a
ahead.
feat. He didn't
I'm
win
not
a
gonna
fight.
argue with you on that, but
Yeah,
also,
but he didn't win a
we're
fight, so
talking
I'm
about
not including it.
confirmed wins, and it's only Sakazuki. It's only Sakazuki,
It's
and like maybe Rocks, maybe.
no. That's why we can't include rocks until we learn how the Admiral attack went.
I know. And like, it's so
And I'm
funny.
leaning towards no because, like, again, it's like no ifs, ands, or buts. Where it's like Luffy has won
Oh
fights against guys he
shit,
was
dude.
stronger than, but there were still caveats.
Dude, I'm
Like
sorry.
Luffy is stronger than Arlong, but also
Dude, you're
Arlong
wrong.
fought
Shut
Zoro
up. Dude, you're
first.
wrong. Shut up.
What am I wrong
Shaki
about?
has a confirmed win against two top tiers, Scopper
No, we
and
no, they weren't. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. That no, they were rookies. They were nerfed. They were nerfed. They
no,
weren't
no,
at full
no, no,
power
no,
yet.
no. They said even mighty warriors are humbled by Shaki.
But then right after that, it said, but these guys are still in their goofy rookie days. Unironic. Oh, someone said if Mordecai and Rigby watched One Piece, who's who? I'm very curious. And then
I
and
haven't
someone
seen enough of a
responded,
regular show to answer that question.
"I'll say I want to be Rigby, but I don't know if I am." And then someone said Mordecai would be a Sanji fan and Rigby would be a Zoro fan, and they would fight over it. That part's true. That would happen. That 100% that would happen.
Yeah, okay, guys. I want everyone in the comments to just say who's Rigby and who's Mordecai. Is Puff the Mordecai or the Rigby? Is Shiki the
On one
Mordecai or the
hand, you
Rigby?
have a bird PFP,
That
but on
is
the other,
true.
I tell you to focus up, and that's a very Mordecai thing. So we'll see. Um, um, the first thing Sakazuki did when his face was revealed was blow up a ship full of civilians because there might be an Ohara scholar on it.
His face
That
wasn't
doesn't.
revealed. His
Yeah, no,
eyes
it
were
was
shaded out still.
his chin was revealed.
Yeah, we got his with the chin reveal, man. The chin
Basically, just the
reveal.
point is, yeah, the first thing Sakazuki did is pretty obviously evil.
And everything he's done
Someone
since has been at least kind of evil.
Oh, we got a funny commenter that kind of confirms our suspicions, which is they said more streams are so painful now because it's mostly it's like 80% arguing about dumb power scaling now. Let's see here.
Like
You
that's the
guys
thing
talked
about
about
like high
um
tier. Like we said this with like our mid tiers video. It's like power scaling like the high tiers of One Piece is so boring because no one has done fucking anything. Like it's like again,
yeah.
Sakazuki's the only one with confirmed win against anyone. It's all just speculation. You can have
Oh,
like
then
guesses that like some things seem obvious, but like again, it's just boring to talk about when in depth.
um let's see here. This was an interesting comment. Someone's like, you guys say Gear 5's a retcon, but I'd like to know what you mean by this. Basically, they point out, like, basically, here's what we mean. Luffy being a symbol related to the sun is not a retcon. Luffy being someone who liberates people is not a retcon. Luffy having the human fruit model Nika is a
Yeah.
retcon. It's just that. Um, and
I'm
then they
willing to
brought up
bet that if One
some.
Piece ended after 5 years, we wouldn't have gotten the Nika reveal. That's like pretty much what I
And
could say
then
that with
they
like
brought
full
up
confidence. I
some
think.
podcast where a guy's mom reads One Piece, and they said she doesn't know much about One Piece and tries to say spoiler free. But I get suspicious because you bring up a few things. Predicted Emu by Jaya. That makes enough sense. Basically, you just believe the Gorosei answer to someone. That's not weird to guess.
Yeah.
Um, and then
Especially
predicted
if you know that the story's like 10,000 chapters long.
And then here's what did get me. Predicted Luffy as a god in Reverse Mountain. Fucking how? What the fuck did she see? Like that one I literally don't understand at all. That one doesn't make sense to me. And then specifically a sun god by Jaya. Now that makes sense if you already have the Luffy god belief. The problem is where the hell did the Luffy god thing come from? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where that comes
And
from.
then also predicted Kaido's fruit in post Enies lobby. That's literally fucking impossible. I don't even think we got his name yet. All we got was his silhouette. We didn't even know he was from Wano yet. It's literally I don't know how that doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Like you
I've
can
like
predict that he
I
has a dragon fruit before we get there. Like by Punk Hazard, you can predict it with like some
No, I think
confidence.
yeah, just learning he's from Elbaf, or no, learning he's at Wano, you could already predict it because Dragon seems like a pretty good villain for Wano, and by his design, you can
And
definitely predict it because he has a giant dragon tattoo.
yeah, and I mean like like because Kinemon has the whole thing with dragons, and like Momo's like scared of dragons, even though
Yeah,
he
no,
is
but
one.
I think
Like it
even
raises
just
suspicion.
But even just knowing he's from Wano, you could make a safe guess that, like, oh, I bet the main villain of the Japan arc will have a dragon. Like, that's a fair guess. But I do with any. Did you like type the wrong arc? I'm like legitimately curious because that and Luffy by a god at Reverse Mountain is like, what the hell does she see that I don't? And then they bring up something fair but kind of iffy, which is analyzing the series using Japanese and historical folklore and information without being diluted by the fan base and their abundance of theories reveals just how much you can get from the series. Here's the problem though: the fan base does try that. And they do it wrong because you can focus on Japanese or historical folklore. But if you focus on that too much, you get where honestly most of the stupid Elbaf and Wano theories came from.
Yeah, it's like people who tried to use Momotaro to like predict where Wano would go. And it's like, all right, Momo is like
Good luck with that.
Momotaro, and he's gonna gather up his animal friends and fight the demons on Onigashima. Okay, cool. Was the dog on Onigashima the Demon King's like son, trans son? Is that in the original tale of Momotaro that the dog friend was was the son of the Demon King?
Let's see here. Someone said that my annoyance at how people will go from the live action is good to hey man, I think this series just isn't for you. Why are you even arguing? Is just due to how dumb internet culture is. I agree, but I think live action fans are uniquely cowardly, more than the average person. Absolute fucking bitches can't explain why their ass shit is good because it's not. So I hate it. My thing with the all blue is, did Zeph say it exists? I think he did, but I don't think that's because he's physically been there. I think it's just Zeph's absolute belief in his dream.
Yeah, he's just asserting that like like this thing
Yeah.
I believe in is real because I want it to
Uh,
be.
Someone said, I hate the regen that the Gorosei and their lackeys have. I get that not much of the cast is the big combat trio, but the regen, unless it's extremely not hockey weakness, just makes who can fight them even more limited than it already was. Now only Conqueror's users can hurt them. Well, even then, that doesn't seem quite accurate. Now, I don't know about you, but I really want the entire crew getting Conquerors. Well, that's quite simple. Don't have the Straw Hats match up with the Gods Knights. Just because a few YouTubers said it'll be a perfect matchup doesn't mean it will be.
Also, like this kind of just seems like it could be a problem later, but for now it's not. Like, cause like they could just it could just be like, oh, like maybe Sanji can't defeat his God's Knight alone. He needs Nami's help to like
Yeah.
hit him with a lightning bolt to paralyze him, or
Or like let's say you
cancel out
need
his devil fruit with
conquerors.
like some rain or whatever.
Yeah, but let's say you need conquerors. The easiest solution is just have the Straw Hats fight people who aren't Eam, who don't have regen, or like maybe figure out a way to break the contract. There's a few interesting methods. I think it's too early for you to get upset.
Yeah, like the
Did you
story
guys
can
ever
introduce any sort of weakness it wants for the regen, then we'll learn about it.
do you guys ever plan on making a character ranking list for Bleach or One Piece like you did for Fairy Tail?
God, that would
Dude, that
take
Fairy Tail
so
list is
long.
ass. We need
Also,
to
it would
fix
take
that.
so
It
long to do
would.
one of
Like,
those.
if we redid Fairy Tail, it'd be 8 times longer, and we should at some point, because that video's fucking
I
dog
know, like
shit.
literally, like we didn't even finish our reread in the first half. So then
No,
after we
we
did,
couldn't remember half of the
we
characters. It was
started like
terrible.
rearranging stuff in the second and be like, why is this guy down here? What
And we
happened?
couldn't find the Edelus characters. It was terrible.
Yeah, I'd have to remake my own list with the Atlas characters. It'd be that.
Someone brought up a fair point, which is I don't think destroyed the gates of justice means he like disintegrated them. He probably just blew a hole through them. I agree, or like he literally hit them so hard they opened. Like I
Yeah,
assume he
like a
did something like
battering
that.
ram.
Yeah. I'm curious as to who the admiral that was even killed by Rocks was and what their devil fruit was.
Their name
Personally,
is
I like
called
Wong's
Bozo
design.
Offscreen McGee. That's their full name until
Yeah.
we learn about them. That's their
I'm
full
curious
name.
if y'all watch Tekking. I used to watch Tekking when I was younger, and I still like what he does. I
Yeah.
think Tekking is a very healthy, good space in the
I know
community.
teching it just
Um,
has this infectious, like nerdy, excited energy that like it just makes me happy
and to
when
the
it like
point that like
happens.
when he says wrong things, I don't really care because it's not that important.
Yeah, because
Um,
again, especially because like most of the views are off the cuff. It's not like it's like Morge making a perfectly edited and detailed analysis video where I will say something like like Vegapunk
Someone brought up something
not being a fighter
interesting,
doesn't confirm
which
that his
is
assertions are wrong.
I said I don't think Sakazuki's dad is the dead admiral because Sakazuki looked like a poor shit on kid. And they said, "Do you remember the Heavenly Tribute? That's also other kingdoms have pulled the Gray Terminal for what happened during Sakazuki's childhood. Possibly hell taxes on the island could have been super fucking high, so he could have maybe had a pretty good dad, but they were just in a city situation. Oh, I don't care about that. Yeah, sure. But I think that's uninteresting. Is like, wait, it's the government fault. It's the government's fault that Sakazuki's in a shitty situation. Have we seen Sakazuki?
I mean, maybe
Like,
like
wait.
he maybe like when we get to his flashback, it'll be like he's misdirecting his anger, like he blames
Mhm.
pirates when it's not pirates' fault. Maybe.
Someone pointed out that Tekking correctly predicted that Road is who kidnapped the Straw Hats, which is hilarious. I don't know how he did that, but I believe it because Tekking's been making videos for so fucking long and doing such random analysis. I bet he has to have like just one random. I bet this cover story character did it, and it's like boom, he finally got it. He's been making videos for so long. I believe he can get one now and then. What's funny is someone brought up a very good counter to Sakazuki is now a good sympathetic person if he has a sad backstory. Someone's like, okay, Conjuro.
Contra had a very sad backstory, and he's still an asshole.
Yeah, that's the point.
Like it
My
is just
take
so
is that the
funny to imagine that, like, oh man, dude, if Hitler like had a sad, if Hitler had Batman's backstory, and some guy shot his parents in an alleyway, I think his genocide would have been kind of justified.
no, I'm
I
gonna be
think we
petty
could
now.
forgive him for the genocide.
Someone gave a decent take where they said the yaoi girlies understand One Piece better than power scalers and theory hype beasts. I agree, but also the yaoi girlies can be fucking stupid sometimes. Because I am in every Twitter space, and I remember one was this was like a week ago. They were arguing that like Zoro Oda's so stupid. What do you mean Zoro would be a cop in real life? And it's like, guys, Zoro's kind of an asshole. Him having a job where you're kind of an asshole is not that weird.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
also on top of that, they're like, Oda said that Robin would be a flight attendant and that Frankie would be a pilot. What are you talking about? Shipwrights and archaeologists, their jobs in the real world too. And it's like, guys, it's an SBS. We're doing this for fun. It's not fun if half of them keep their current fucking jobs. It's more fun to give them a different fucking
Yeah.
job.
Like, Luffy wouldn't be like a pirate, even though pirates exist in real life. He would be a firefighter because we're trying to think of like an actual, like if Luffy grew up like you and me and
What if
went to
he was part
school
of
and all that.
functional society? And then just also like it's boring if Frankie's a shipwright because we already know he's a shipwright. We want to see him do something else. And also Frankie flying a plane sounds funny. Like it's just that. It's just have some fun. Um, People forget the Whitebeard pirates couldn't get past a single admiral and got completely folded before Teach even arrived. As much as I love Whitebeard, Sakazuki hands down won that fight. And then I said, I just did the thing I always do, Puff, which is say, when Luffy gets hit so hard, he falls out of the fight, and then that character goes on to do something else. We say he lost.
We do.
And then they said, seems you and I read different versions of Marineford, because I clearly remember Sakazuki in front of Shanks after Whitebeard died. You guys think too much of this whole Sakazuki felon. And it's like, no, Whitebeard hit Sakazuki twice so hard, a small settlement nearby exploded, and then Sakazuki blast you, and then fell in a hole. He lost. He
Like,
lost
listen,
the
if you
exchange.
want to call it a ring out and not a real loss, fair. Like, go ahead. It's just
But
that,
he
like,
definitely didn't fucking win. Winning is not when you get hurt, fall into a hole, and then the other guy goes to die to someone else.
just say he lost the clash and they got unfortunately separated by terrain. You
No,
go,
like if you want to say,
sure.
oh, if they kept going, he'd win. Sure, I don't believe that. Those hits look like they really fucking hurt, but you know, bad One Piece opinions is finally coming what that they swore to destroy. This is just like I responded to this seriously because it was fun, but this is just like an agenda piece person who's like, "Do you think Zoro won't be the strongest swordsman ever by the end of his life?" Because if like, they're saying this is why Rocks being a swordsman matters.
What does that have
And
to
then if
do with anything? What?
exactly, it's just agenda meme bullshit. And then if Rocks is a swordman, why didn't he ever achieve a black blade? Silly question. Shanks versus Mihawk should have never been a debate in the first place. If Shanks is a swordsman in the era of Mihawk, then he's weaker than Mihawk, which is like there could be a million
I
caveats,
thought
dude.
like our stance was nothing about the Mihawk versus Shanks debate has changed in the past decades. Like, yeah, by title it's Mihawk, but there might be more to it. Like that's
Yeah,
it.
like I'm going to
That's
keep
all
saying
there
I
is
think
to
Shanks
it.
is I keep saying Shanks is stronger under the assumption that the way he wins is by like kicking Mihawk in the shin mid-fight because that's funny. And the funniest reading is the best reading until we get a real reading. Would Magellan be pure evil or barely just a cog? Magellan's pure evil.
Yeah, like Impel Down is already like it like
hardest to
It
justify
is
place in One Piece.
unnecessarily cruel to an incredible degree. So like already that's kind of evil, but also like Magellan will just randomly kill prisoners for being too loud. It's like that's not, even if those are like like they should still get like some human rights, right? Like the right to
Oh,
life at the very
Fluffy, you
least,
believe
right?
in human rights for criminals? That's real woke of you.
Well, that's why we have prisons at all and not just kill them all, right?
Yeah. No, very clearly, Impel Down is abjectly evil, so the guy in charge of it has to be evil. Then on top of that, yeah, when prisoners just piss him off, he kills them by coating them in painful acid. He's evil. He's an evil person. Just because it'd be good if Crocodile was in a jail doesn't mean the warden in charge of the most evil jail on the planet is a good person.
Like he probably has like some he it sounds like he has some like sense of like justice and like wanting to make the world a better place, but like doing it in a not great way.
Have you guys talked about this before? How do you feel about people saying Wano bad because it's bloated? I really like Wano's scale, and I genuinely can't tell why people don't like it. I will admit, here's a big thing. Weekly, there was a lot of fucking shit going on. Also, Wano was a lot of people's first weekly arc. They weren't ready for it.
Yeah. It's like the same thing kind of happened in Dressrosa, and like, even like if you go back to old
People did
Arlong
it for
Park
Whole Cake
forums.
Island.
Yeah.
Dude,
But like,
people are doing it now with Yamato's cover story. They're like, "Oh my god, it's been going on forever." It's like I think the third or fourth longest one at this point.
it's just like I've always said that like, like in terms of like raw chapter length and like scale, like Wano was not that different from Manny's Lobby. It's like a bit like
Mhm,
what, like 20 chapters longer maybe. A little less, I think.
mhm. Someone said they were whatever on One Piece live action. They thought they ruined Kobe's character because he didn't stand up for himself. Oh, you're right. They did that for Usopp and Kaya too. They kind of forgot to give them the moment where they stopped being the losers.
Yeah.
And then they said they thought some of the the Orange Town Big Top change was neat, and that the murder mystery mansion for Syrup Village was neat. I agree those are neat in theory, but the characters acting in them still do dumb, stupid, dumbass shit, so I don't like it. Um, and then they lost them with Baratier and especially Arwong Park, which makes sense because by God did they fuck those up.
Baratier
Video
was not
idea.
good.
Video idea. Boa versus Yamato. Well, Sandersonia and Marigold are fucked. And then Hancock is like Schrodinger's top tier. She could be weaker than Jack or as strong as like I don't know, fucking an admiral for all I know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's
We don't
somewhere in
even
that
know if
range.
she can use Conquer's Hockey on command or not. Which is very funny to say.
Where's that old like power scaling list I made? I think I put like literally just a tier that was like they can go anywhere between like fourth commander level and admiral or something to that effect. Okay, yeah, no, I can't find. I probably lost this thing a while ago.
Let's see here. The only celestial dragon theory is Emu basically saving them to use as fodder in the final war. That's fine. I guess it's like celestial dragon death theory. It's like, yeah, that's the best one. You should do an opening ranking. I mean, we could. Um, Someone asked this on another video too, and I gave what I think is the correct answer, which is someone said, "Is there a deep reason why Luffy is going so far to help people over food?" I feel like there is a meaning to food in One Piece, and considering how often it is used, like in Wano, for example. Here's why
I made a
food
video about
matters.
that. I made a main channel video
No,
about
no,
that.
and then I can speedrun why Luffy cares about food. Food is something that Luffy has always had access to, even as a small, poor child. He's always been able to hunt. And the only two times Luffy was ever starved were in Whole Cake Island. Once, he tried eating a poisonous fish and almost died because he was so hungry. And then the second time was self inflicted. So when he sees people he cares about being forced to go through a hellish condition forever, it pisses him off. Especially because, and this is an extra thing, this is an extra very important thing. Food is like Luffy's third favorite thing.
Yep.
So seeing people deprived of it so much, they don't just not have enough to gorge themselves. They barely have enough to survive. Of course he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Um
He has empathy.
Someone
He's
said
like, "Damn, no food? That sucks. I'd hate
Mhm.
to live here."
Someone asked our thoughts on teching and we basically said what we said. Moria punched an island in half without hockey. Just imagine how strong it would be with hockey control of someone like Garp. Yeah, dude, he could punch a bigger island in half. And then someone gave us a Naruto opinion about how they really like Asuma. Good for you. All right, we're done.
Whew. do,
That was
do we get
fun.
to Superman opinions now?
What was there anything? Were there any interesting comments? I mean, we can.
I mean, why not? Let's do it.
Sure, I'll look for anything actually interesting. Let me let's go here. Um, Someone said something funny. You said Superman has been missing from like the public eye, and you're like, he wasn't missing. There was Superman with Lois, which ran for 4 seasons. It's like,
I
dog, that
said
was not.
I said the front of culture, and by that I meant Henry Cavill was the face of Superman.
No, yeah, and then like he was, yeah, dude, fucking yeah, dude. Everyone was watching
I'm
Superman
sorry,
and Lois.
I'm sorry, my ambiguous language had a hole in it. If you really
No,
want the
no,
opinion of
no,
it,
I think he just misinterpreted you.
yeah.
I don't care about Superman and Lois. Shut up.
I'm sure it's a great
Anyway,
show, but like like again, like but most people didn't watch that show. They were watching Man of Steel.
let's see here. Oh, someone said we didn't give them any new Man of Steel takes. We're sorry. I think everyone kind of agrees on what's not good about
Oh, we have one
it.
more Man of Steel take we forgot to say, and it's that it's kind of like interesting and funny that Clark is being represented as my monster boyfriend to Lois. Like
No,
that's
it
how
is.
they treat the
That's
relationship.
hilarious.
That's
And
a
then they did
very
that.
peculiar
We've
and
seen
funny
an hour
presentation
of
of
the
it.
3 hour version of Batman v Superman so far. We're having a great time. And literally they do I think one reason that plays into my monster boyfriend is Clark is clearly infinitely more interested in saving Lois than saving anyone else. Like he has a scene where he's like, the terrorists were gonna kill my girlfriend. What was I supposed to do?
Not
Okay.
blow him through 18 brick walls at
Yeah,
Mach
also he
8.
claimed he didn't kill anyone. I don't fucking believe him. Shut up, Clark.
Oh, by the way, about
Yeah,
that movie, we haven't finished it yet, but like
we're an
my
hour into the 3 hour version.
yes, and from what I remember, I like Batman's character in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. I'm not sure if that's a spicy
I
take.
think that's
I think
just
that's a
you
fair.
like it in the sense of like a disgruntled Batman is pretty easy to believe and roll with.
Yeah, and from what I like, I kind of hate the way Zack Snyder like described it in that one interview. It's like, oh, if it doesn't count if I kill them if I hit them with my car or whatever the hell he said.
That's stupid. That doesn't
Yeah,
make
no,
any
but like,
fucking
but
sense.
like the way I saw it is just like he's going to do whatever he feels he needs to do to stop you, and if you die in the process, so be it. Like he's not going to go out of his way to be gentle with criminals anymore because he's like
Mhm.
that tired of it. He's that sick of.
Oh, Buff, we got a super funny comment.
Ooh, what is it?
Someone said one thing I didn't like about Red Sun is that Superman saw lobotomies as a better humane alternative to gulags. But then someone said, "Now wait a minute. Based on the time period, he was just following the science."
I guess
Which is very
I forget if the comic goes into that or not. Like I don't think that
no, no, no. Someone, no, no. The comic does get into it. The person was literally just saying, based off of what time period it takes place, logistically, he was following the science, which is funny.
I know that like they were more common back in the day as like this is a serious like thing that'll fix your problems, and before they got like antidepressants or whatever.
Mhm. Someone brought up how the scene where Baravia is about to do the invasion kind of looks like the Great March of Return. I also made that connection, but there's like some iffy like differences with it that raise questions if it's intentional or not. So I talked about them with that. That was fun. Jason Momoa is confirmed to be Lobo and Supergirl. That's so hype. That's so hype.
Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, it'd be really, really funny, and what I hope they do. I remember one complaint about the Superman movie was like, oh, his hair was somewhere, so was this like a weak Superman? It's like, no, Lex said he found exactly one piece of hair throughout like 3 years worth of battles. I think it would be super funny if Lobo like just pulled out Superman's hair as like a fucking joke once, and just like they were fighting and be like, hey, here's a noogie, I do take some of your hair out,
Very
take that,
funny.
you fucking dork.
Addy said he doesn't see the Henry Cavill lip, and clearly that's because Addy is fucking stupid. Sorry, Addy.
I think if
Um,
it's like the opening scene with like the smartphone, you might not see it, but like you can
there's a
definitely
few scenes where he's talking, and it's like he doesn't look like Henry Cavill.
no.
James Gunn said the political commentary was not intentional. I simply think he's lying.
Yeah, it was true that the script was written like a few years ago, but like Israel and Palestine have been like at war with each other for like what like hundreds of years now.
No,
With
no,
this
not
whole thing
hundreds
going.
of years. Like 70.
Well, yeah, but the beef goes back hundreds of years, right? But like I guess
No,
like
but like the specific conflict that he was commenting on goes back about 70
yeah,
years.
and then also like the movie hasn't been in production for 3 years. Like he could have changed his mind or like made additions later on.
Basically, I don't. It's too on the nose for me to believe
Yeah,
that.
like even if he
Um,
like it is just the type of thing where it's like I feel like he'd have no choice but to deny it, even if like this was his intention
PR.
because yeah,
Um,
PR.
Ben Shapiro basically wanted Superman to be pro-America propaganda, where nothing can make him look even slightly vulnerable or bad. Putting down Clark's parents for not looking like supermodels when they're rural farmers was a pretty clear mask-off moment. I agree. What's weird is I saw that on Twitter too. People keep complaining. Was it Dean Kane who said that the Kents are too weird or like feeble? And it's like, God, they're just fucking Kansas farmers. You people are so mean. Um, Someone said they asked the Mount Rushmore question because people ask if it's sexist to not include Wonder Woman. I would say Wonder Woman is well known, as in like yeah, like Puff literally like Wonder Woman is in like I would call like the grandparent zeitgeist, which is even your grandparents know who they are.
Yeah. But
Even your
like
grandparents know who Aquaman and Wonder Woman are.
well like things I think like if we're just going by like sales, she has nowhere near the numbers as Batman,
Yeah, and for
Superman, or
doing
Hulk
like
or
cultural
Spider-Man.
impact in the recent years, she doesn't have quite the weight of like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't help that like, her two movies like, like didn't do super well. Like the first one did fairly well, I think, but like no one saw the second movie.
What is this? Oh, we got a weird person who put, "Oh, it's obvious Israel shouldn't kill kids" in quotes. So they're weird, and I'm not going to respond to anything else they say. Um,
Then why bring them up?
because I saw Scott Pilgrim PFP. And I thought, ooh, Scott Pilgrim. Let's not forget the fact that there are other comics depicting what if Superman landed in another country. Wait, you told me about this. There's one where he lands in Mexico.
I'm not sure if he
And he
landed in Mexico, but I know that like he was raised by Mexican immigrants in America. I think that was it.
Oh, okay. Well, so he's still chill.
And like the thing
Um,
is like he was like pretty like the less than ideal than our Superman because like but like I say that has less to do with him being raised by Mexicans and more so because he was General Zod's son instead of Kal-El's son. And like
all
he's
right,
like,
let's
and even then he's
see.
still a hero. He's just a bit more pragmatic. Like instead of like I'll get him. Just watch Gods and Monsters if you want to know the difference, or like the short that was into it. Whatever.
Someone said their Mount Rushmore: Superman because he's the most famous ever, Spider-Man most famous Marvel, Batman second most famous DC, and then Wonder Woman most famous female. And then they said that's because the DC Trinity are on another level of famous. And it's like no, because this is very mean. But again, I think just as many people know who Aquaman is as Wonder Woman.
Pro-
Because I think,
Probably.
yeah, like it's hard to imagine people who know one but not the other. And I think, like, yeah, like, but again, like, I don't think in the modern day there are more people who know Wonder Woman than Iron Man. I think it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Um, Someone would love to hear us talk
Oh,
about,
dude. The one thing about like the Superman and the Batman, like doing a crossover. I would
yeah,
get chills if I saw a teaser that ended with a Batman and Superman World's Finest as the title card.
nice,
A World's Finest movie would go so hard.
nice. Right, let's see this. Someone wants us to talk about Miraculous. We need that season to fucking Puff. They don't release fucking dubbed episodes enough. We haven't been able to watch in like a month. Um,
Why don't we
Oh,
just
and then
watch
someone
the
pointed out
subs,
that
Shiki?
Someone pointed out something funny, which is we were yapping so much that we forgot to say why it's not anti-Semitic for Superman to be against fictional Israel, and that's simple. Israel is not the same as being Jewish.
Yeah.
That we just forgot to say that because we're yap monsters. um,
Oops.
um, let's see here. Uh, let's see here. Oh yeah, John Byrne. Who is this? Puff kept saying John Bryce, and Shiki kept calling him John Bird. I don't remember saying that guy's name at all, so I must have been reading an
John Bird.
excerpt
I
really
don't remember
fast.
John Bird. I don't remember hearing that word ever.
Wasn't expecting a Psych reference. One of the greatest shows of all time. Yeah, Psych is goated. I was getting bullied by Psych Twitter the other day. It was very sad.
Oh, I'll post it right here because it's funny.
No, don't post it. No, don't leave that. No, leave that person alone.
Okay, fine.
No, I let them subtweet me with their 5,000 followers. It's funnier. What is this?
What is it?
All right, no, that's everything. That's all our comments. All right, next week we will do something. I'm not gonna say Magi or Naruto because Boruto's super fucking long,
You guys are
and
taking so
Magi.
long to read Magi. Like, I took a break to
Yeah,
read
because
another.
we have Puff. It's so funny to say because you have a job, but again, we have lives. I'm not gonna have internet for the next 3 days.
I took a break to read Invincible and finished it, and still I'm ahead in Magi. Apparently, I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
because I go. Yeah,
What have
because
you
I have
people
to go.
been doing?
Because other things.
I have other things to do as well.
Very clearly, not as many as us somehow. And I'm not gonna have internet for 3 days, so I'm not gonna be reading any fucking Maki during that.
Oh, poor you.
I'll read other things. Maybe I'll read the Naruto novels. Maybe I'll download them. That'd be fun. All right, we are done.
Yep.
Hooray! We'll
Good
do
night.
something next week. Maybe we'll do a lazy reaction video so we can use Mocha's really good PNG.
Dude, maybe we should make a tier a tier list of all the DC movies, and that's where we get all of our Batman vs Superman takes out.
I haven't seen enough DC movies, but maybe.
I've been watching a few of them lately.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Goodbye.